Let me tell you something strange about silence in today's world. We live in a time where almost everything is shared: birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets, laughter, even sadness disguised with filters. But some people, they stay invisible. They scroll quietly, watch deeply, but rarely post anything. Maybe you know someone like that. Maybe that someone is you. And it always makes people wonder, why? Why would someone choose to stay unseen when everyone else seems to be shouting for attention? Most assume it's shyness or introversion, but that's not the full story. There's a whole psychology behind it, one that reveals something deep about human nature, self-image, and quiet resistance in a world obsessed with being noticed. For some, silence isn't emptiness, it's power. It's control over what the world gets to know. Because whether we admit it or not, social media has changed how we define ourselves. It rewards display. It praises noise. And yet, the quiet ones often see the most clearly. They notice more. They think before reacting. They understand before judging. Psychologists have found something interesting. People who rarely post tend to have more self-control, emotional independence, and stronger inner awareness. They're not chasing likes or approval. They're not trying to prove who they are. They're trying to know it. And that's rare. Because let's be honest, most of what we post isn't communication. It's identity building. Every caption, every story says, "This is who I am." Do you accept it? But when you stop posting, something shifts. You start to live moments for yourself again, not for a screen. You stop thinking in captions. You begin to feel life instead of performing it. That's the secret behind people who don't post. They're not running from social media. They're searching for something real inside it. It's not about being anti-technology or anti-social. It's about protecting what feels true. Because once you've seen how easy it is to fake meaning, you start valuing what can't be shown. Silence, depth, imperfection, truth. For some, the decision not to post comes after emotional exhaustion. Maybe they once shared everything, until one day, it stopped feeling real. They noticed that every time they shared something beautiful, they felt pressure to keep outdoing it. They weren't living anymore, they were performing, so they stopped. Quietly, no announcement, just disappeared from the feed. But not posting doesn't mean not feeling. It doesn't mean they don't care. It often means they care too much. About presence, about meaning, about keeping some things sacred. There's a term called psychological ownership, the feeling that something belongs deeply to you. When you post it, that ownership fades just a little. It becomes public property, open to judgment, misunderstanding, even mockery. So people who don't post are guarding that ownership over their own life. They keep their memories pure, untouched, theirs alone. And maybe that's not sadness. Maybe that's freedom. Think about it. When was the last time you did something beautiful and didn't feel like posting it? When was the last time you laughed or cried without reaching for your phone? That reflex to share everything isn't natural, it's trained. It's the result of years of likes, hearts, and comments teaching us to link validation with worth. So when someone breaks out of that system, it looks rebellious, but it's healing. They rediscover what it means to do things for themselves again. Cooking without photos, traveling without tags, feeling without explaining. In that space, something wakes up, a self-awareness that doesn't need an audience. But not everyone who stays silent does it from peace. Some do it from fear. Fear of being judged, misunderstood, or ignored. Social media has created something called self-presentational pressure. The feeling that you're being watched even when you're not. It's exhausting. Many people retreat not because they don't want to connect, but because being seen feels like a burden. They want to be understood, not just noticed. And ironically, the quietest people online often have the loudest minds. They're not absent, they're overflowing. They just choose stillness over noise. There's a kind of philosophy hidden in that silence. In a world shouting, "Look at me," choosing invisibility becomes a kind of strength. It's saying, "I exist even if you don't see me." They may scroll through other lives, smiling, nodding, sometimes aching, but they rarely post because they understand something most don't. Not everything you experience is meant to be witnessed. Some of life's biggest changes, growth, loss, healing, happen quietly. And when you've lived through enough of those private changes, you realize that being unseen isn't the same as being unimportant. That's where identity's built, not performed. Social media was meant to connect us, but often it leaves people feeling more alone. When you stop posting, you stop chasing fake closeness and start rebuilding real ones. You notice who checks in without reminders, who remembers you without updates. Those connections, raw, unfiltered, are the real ones. And people who don't post live in that space. They don't need proof of connection, they live it. It's also about knowing who you are even when no one's watching. When you're at peace with your own company, you don't need an audience to feel whole. That's not pride, it's peace. And here's the irony. Those who don't post often have the most powerful stories to tell. But they save them for real conversations, not captions. Because to them, real connection isn't measured in likes or views. It's in eye contact, in laughter, in shared silence. They don't need the world to applaud their existence, they just need to live it. And maybe, in a world desperate to be seen, their silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A quiet reminder that not everything meaningful needs to be shared. That sometimes, the most human thing you can do is keep something entirely for yourself. Because the truth is, when you step away from the noise, life feels different. Colors look deeper. Time feels slower. Moments feel real again. Because when you stop performing, you finally start experiencing. There's beauty in walking through life without needing proof of every step. You're not thinking about captions or filters. You're just there, fully alive. Every time you post and get likes, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical that makes you crave more attention. Over time, you start thinking in terms of shareable moments, not real ones. So when someone steps away from that loop, it's not disinterest, it's discipline. It takes strength to walk away from something designed to keep you hooked. People who don't post often have a stronger inner compass. Their self-worth comes from within, not from a screen. They don't need a notification to feel seen, and research shows that people who take breaks from posting often feel calmer and more satisfied. Because when your sense of self isn't constantly mirrored back at you, it becomes real, whole, untouched. But silence online isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it hides fatigue. Many once sought connection, but ended up feeling drained. Watching everyone's highlight reels while living through your own struggles can quietly break you. And some people walk away not from bitterness, but from self-preservation. They realize they don't owe the world a performance. They don't need to prove happiness to be believed. That's one of the quiet truths of our generation. We mistake invisibility for value, but real meaning doesn't need witnesses. The moments that shape you most happen privately. No audience, no applause, just you. And maybe that's what the quiet ones know best. They understand that privacy isn't loneliness, it's connection with yourself. When you stop posting, you start hearing your own thoughts again. You reconnect with the parts of you that got lost in the noise. Your quiet dreams, your fears, your true voice. It's not withdrawal, it's coming home. Of course, there are moments of doubt. You may wonder if silence makes you invisible. But with time, you realize something powerful. Your worth doesn't fade when no one's watching. It's still there, steady, unshaken. That's real confidence, not loud, not public, but peaceful. Some people say, if you didn't post it, did it even happen? But the truth is, the things that shape you the most rarely make it to the feed. Your heartbreaks, your healing, your quiet victories, they live in memory, not media. When psychologists talk about being authentic, they mean being aligned, and who you are inside matches who you are outside. But social media bends that alignment. You start performing instead of being. So when someone stops posting, it might just mean they're staying true to themselves. They don't need others to witness something for it to be real. And here's the paradox. Those who live quietly often feel life the most. They see the details others miss, the way light shifts on a wall, the pause before laughter. They are present. And in a world built on attention, presence is rare. Yes, sometimes they're misunderstood, being called distant, detached, mysterious. But their silence isn't emptiness. It's depth. It's peace that comes from not needing to explain yourself, because not every truth is meant for the crowd. Once something is shared, it stops being yours. And maybe some moments are too sacred for that. So next time you notice someone who never posts, don't assume they're hiding. Maybe they're just living. Maybe they found peace where the noise ends. Because being unseen doesn't mean being alone. Being quiet doesn't mean being empty. Sometimes silence itself is the loudest proof that you're truly alive.